All this work that we're doing, brothers, for this ministry, eventually is going to pay off. You better believe it, man. It's going to pay off like you'll never believe. Okay? And by the way, we're the highest value male on this planet. The men of the Lord. The men of this truth. The hopeful elect of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The highest value male there is.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessed salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing His word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And what I want to get into today, as you can see the picture, as we always go to our picture, speak 1,000 words, and as you look at this picture, all right, a small hat, and what we've come to understand, they pretty much master, playing the victim and the hero. Okay, and they play the victim after terrible decision making. We're going to go into the root of these things, because one thing about the scriptures, this book, reveals, a lot of mysteries, of the world, how things are, why things are like they are, why people are like they are. Well, this book reveals these things. Okay, and one thing about the scriptures, you know who's who by looking at certain patterns. Okay, like you can identify, particular things, particular people, particular kingdoms. Okay, coming back, all right, in their lot, through certain patterns. And one thing about this devil, he always plays the role, of, a victim after. He does wickedness. He jumps on the scene, of the victim when he's called out. Okay, so when you go to 1 Corinthians 2 and 12, it says, "Now we have received not the spirit of this world, but the spirit which of the Most High, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High." So we don't look at things from this world's perspective, this world's understanding and knowledge. Okay, what they call knowledge and understanding. We have a understanding from on high through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And the things that are freely given us, man. As we have access to this book. This book was, translated, for us in our captivity, and it's freely given to us, man. The Lord has freely given us a spirit, the Rakakodash, to understand these things. Okay, to go into these things, to search things out. Okay, so when we look at, how things are playing out in the world, we can relate and filter everything through the scriptures, man. Okay, which this book is a spirit within itself. Okay, the spirit of Yahushua, man. All right, now I want to get some accounts, and when you're, and we're operating in the understanding of the spirit, we can look at certain accounts and tie it in today, and it makes perfect sense. It explains, okay, what we see happening today. Now, let's go into the account of Cain and Abel. Now, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep," which is spiritual within itself. Understanding that, the nation of Israel is likened to the sheep of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But there's a whole nother topic in itself, but, it's spiritual. It says, "But Cain was a tiller of the ground, and in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground, all right, an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, all right, of the fat thereof, and the Lord had respect unto the Abel and to his offering." Now let's read this in the NLT. Genesis 4:3 says, when it was time for the harvest, Cain presented some of his crops as a gift to the Lord, which the Lord never required, fruit, okay, for a sacrifice. Okay, so this is disobedience. This is blatant disobedience. Okay, this is pure disobedience. So let's note that behavior. All right, so that's rebellion. Okay, against order. Genesis 4:4. Abel also brought a gift, the best of the firstborn lambs from his flock, and that's a spirit. The firstborn lambs. All right, because remember, Yahushua is in the volume of the book, and I say when you're in the spirit of Yahushua, you can see, how Yahushua is intertwined, in the book. Okay, said, the Lord accepted Abel and his gift, but he did not accept Cain and his gift. This made Cain very angry, and he looked dejected. So Cain, was rejected. Okay, just as Esau was recorded as being rejected, and you got to link the two. That's why scriptures say we compare spiritual things with spiritual things. So as Cain, all right, was rejected, we have to remember that Esau was rejected. Let's get it. All right, let's get the book of 2nd Ezra, and this is the GNT. Okay, 2nd Ezra and GNT. Not 2nd Ezra, I think it's chapter 3, something like that. So 2nd Ezra 3, get to the point. Alright, this is 2nd Ezra 3:15. It says, you made an everlasting covenant with him. Alright, this is Abraham, and promised him that you would never abandon his descendants. You gave him Isaac, and to Isaac you gave Jacob and Esau. You chose Jacob, and his descendants became a great nation, but you rejected Esau. Okay, so Esau is recorded what? Being rejected. Cain is recorded, okay, of his sacrifice not being accepted. It was rejected. Okay, so you have to link those things in the spirit, and you link the behavior, okay, that we see today with this same behavior. All right, in these accounts. This is Genesis 4:6. Okay, so NLT says, why are you so angry? The Lord asked Cain. Why do you look so dejected? So this nigga knew, okay, that he offered, the wrong thing, but he's looking as if he's been wrong. Okay, and he's going off. All right, it says, verse 4 says, you will be accepted if you do what is right. Okay, it's plain. It's not a complicated thing, in obedience and disobedience. That's what Esau does as well. He makes it seem as if it's just this complicated thing when it comes to judging right and wrong. He loves to create gray areas, and manipulate emotions, and he makes, judging between righteousness and wickedness, this complicated thing. But nah, man, it's simple. Okay, you will be accepted if you do what is right. But if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out. Sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you, but you must subdue it and be its master. So here it is, the Lord is dealing. Here it is, Cain is in the wrong, and the Lord is dealing. Like, look, if you do what's right, you will be accepted. But if you don't, okay, sin is going to control you. You must subdue it. Okay, but he knew that Cain wasn't built to subdue sin. All right, and as we know, the spirit of Cain, come back as what? Esau. And the descendants of Esau, these Edomites, these so-called white people of today, they have that same spirit, okay, of just not being able to do right, man. Okay, and they're controlled by sin. Okay, that's why they're known as the man of sin. You see, so the Lord is dealing. All right, but guess what this devil does? One day Cain suggested to his brother, Genesis 4 and 8 in the NLT. One day Cain suggested to his brother, let's go out into the fields. And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Okay, so this is another, act of rebellion. Okay, the scriptures say, well, he was a murderer from the beginning, as we're going to get. Okay, so here it is. He made another terrible decision. Okay, and he attacked and killed Abel because Abel's sacrifice was accepted. Okay, he's angry at Abel because that sacrifice was accepted. And like Elder Yashawama said, this was an attempt for the devil to get rid of their righteous lineage out of the earth, man. You know, it says afterward, the Lord asked Cain, where is your brother? Where is Abel? And he said, I don't know. So he lied. You see, this man is constantly heaping up charges to himself. Terrible decision making. Cain responded, am I my brother's guardian? Okay? Which, the scriptures say what? Love thy neighbor as thyself. That's righteousness. So you see that Cain is adverse to righteousness, man. Okay, but the Lord said, what have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. And that's just, representative of, Abel was in the spiritual world complaining how he was murdered, man. He was unjustly murdered. He was complaining. Okay? The spirit, was in the spirit. The spirit of Abel was complaining, man. Okay? It says, now you are cursed and banished from the ground, which has swallowed your brother's blood. No longer will the ground yield good crops for you, no matter how hard you work it. For from now on, you will be a homeless wanderer on the earth. And this is why, Esau was blessed with the sword. What does he do? He goes and conquers lands. He goes and conquers other people's lands. He colonizes, because the scriptures say he will live by the sword. But see, he was cursed, to be a wanderer, man. That's why scripture say he can never keep it at home. See, we got to compare comparing spiritual things with spiritual things, man. Compare all these things, man. Okay? It says, from now on, you will be a homeless wanderer on the earth. Cain replied to the Lord, listen to this. So now he's finally being punished for all the wickedness he's done in this chapter. Leading up to this point. Now he's being punished. Okay, and this is why the earth today doesn't yield forth its strength, because this was a curse put on Cain, and then that curse was translated to who? Esau, who comes in the spirit of Cain. You got to be spiritual to see that Cain and Abel was a foreshadow of Jacob and Esau, which we'll get. It said, Cain replied to the Lord, my punishment is too great for me to bear. So now he's the victim. When he was doing all this wickedness, he wasn't thinking about, his punishment being more than he can bear. Okay? He wasn't thinking about that. You see? But now, as he's being called out, all right, what is the first thing he goes? He goes into victim mode. Okay? Verse 14, you have banished me from the land and from your presence. You have made me a homeless wanderer. Anyone who finds me will kill me. Well, wait a minute. Didn't you kill a man? Now your life is so precious, but you don't regard life. Okay? And this is just Esau. All right, this is just a showcase of this victim mentality that Esau has mastered today. Now let's go on in Genesis. Look at Genesis 25. All right, and this is going into Jacob and Esau. Now let's get here. I want to get this point. Genesis 25 and all right, let's get 29. So this is an account between Jacob and Esau. All right, this is Genesis 25 and 29. It says one day when Jacob was one day when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau arrived home from the wilderness, exhausted and hungry. Esau said to Jacob, "I'm starved. Give me some of their red stew." This is how Esau got his other name, Edom, which means red. All right. And it says, "All right." Jacob replied, "But trade me your rights as the firstborn." Now, this is a legit deal. Okay. These are two men discussing business. Okay. It said, "Look, I am dying of starvation," said Esau. "What good is my birthright to me now?" But Jacob said, "First you must swear that your birthright is mine." So Esau swore on oath, okay, thereby selling all his rights as the firstborn to his brother Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. Esau ate the meal, then got up and left. He showed contempt for his right as the firstborn. So Esau, all right, gave up all the rights of the firstborn to Jacob. Okay, and then the scriptures say he despised the birthright. Okay, he's an ungrateful nigga. And he knew what the birthright was. Okay, you don't think there was no discussions of that? All right, but when you go into this word, despise, in the Hebrew is bazah. All right, I want to go to here. It says to hold in contempt, to disdain. Okay, it said to be vile, worthless. So he looked at the birthright as worthless, man. Okay, he looked at it as worthless, you know, and he made a deal for one meal. He sold out. Okay, you so-called white people, your forefather Esau put y'all in a bad predicament, man. Okay, he put you in a terrible predicament, man. He thought about himself. Okay, he was a narcissist. He thought about what he wanted, all right, and only what he wanted at the time. All right, he didn't have any foresight. Okay, he didn't show any prudence, man. Okay, now let's fast forward to the description of the blessing, and let's see and show how Esau plays a victim again. Now, it was set up for Jacob, okay, and Rebekah, all right, to finesse, you know, the blessing, you know. But as we, like I say, as we understand in the spirit, the blessing was always for Jacob, you know, because the Lord refers to Esau. I mean, it's like the Lord refers to Jacob as his firstborn. Okay, because we understand we're the firstborn in the spirit, but the Lord had to play out, you know, the way it played out for the sake of controversy in the Lord's movie. Okay, he wanted that tension between these two nations, you know, for prophecy's sake. Exodus 4:22, it says, "And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus said the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn." Okay, so it was always set up, you know, because you have Christians, you know, they try to demonize Jacob, you know, for what he did, but they don't go into Genesis 25 and go into this man selling, okay, his birthright, man. Okay, so let's go Genesis 27. Okay, you know, he outright sold his birthright, man. We read it. Okay, poor decision making. All right, and he's still gonna want to play the victim. This is Genesis 27 and 26. It says, "And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore the Most High give thee the dew of heaven," all right, which is world dominion, "and the fatness of the earth, dwelling," you know, our living quarters are going to be the most plush in the earth. Okay, it says, "And plenty of corn and wine," control of the resources. Okay, like it says in the NLT, "abundant harvest of grain and bountiful new wine." All right, that's, you know, the earth, you know, giving forth its strength and us having full, you know, control. Because if you control the resources, you in rulership. Okay, Whoever controls resources, that's who's in rulership. Verse 29, let people serve thee. Okay, the nations being servants, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that cursed thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out of the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of thy son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac, and remember, he knows he sold his birthright. So Esau thought he was going to come and double back, okay, and then get the birthright anyway. Nah, man, don't work like that. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, who? Where is he that have taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yeah, and he shall be blessed. Okay, so Isaac confirmed, like, look, whoever I bless, that's who gonna be blessed, because it was the will of the Lord. Okay, and you read in NLT at the end, and it says, and yes, that blessing must stand. Okay, so ain't no changing it. All right, even to this day. Okay, and Esau's NWO is an attempt to change, all right, that blessing, man. To undo that blessing of Jacob. Okay, so Genesis 27 and 34 says, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried victim. You see that? Immediately went into victim mode. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. Okay? And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing. Now, did he speak on him selling it? Did he speak on selling his birthright? Did he tell Isaac that part? He immediately went into victim mode, and he immediately started to villainize Jacob. Okay, and this is what this devil does. This is what he has mastered, man. Okay, now let's see the spirit that came. Hey, that's the spirit. Let's see the spirit that Esau is in. Okay, regarding this incident, and he knows that he's in the wrong. He knows that he sold that birthright. He didn't mention it. Okay, like a lot of things in the news, they report, Iran did this, this group did this, but they don't go into their doings. Okay, same spirit. Genesis 27 and 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Okay, so he first played victim, and then he becomes a murderer. Okay, then he goes into complete just cold-blooded murderer, man. Cold-blooded killer. You see, this is what this devil does. And this is what we're seeing happening, man. Real time. Okay, and then brother, I'm gonna put the chart up. Yeah, put this chart up. Brother had posted. And this is the cycle of this devil. This is what he does, man. And this same cycle is in the scriptures. Okay? And this just represents who this devil is. These are the Edomites, man. Okay? The same patterns, man. There's no new thing under the sun. And guess what? Jake has adopted, 2/3 of our people have adopted the ways of this devil, to where they make horrible decisions. Okay? They do wickedness. But then, when the results hit home, everyone, our people love to play the victim. Nah, man. You know, because you go here, let's get this. This Sirach 10 and 2. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And this is why you see such a victim mentality. You got Karen playing the victim. You got niggas, they play the victim, the nigga woman. And then two people that play the victim the best is Esau and Eve, man. Going back to that Gardanian pact. Kind of segue into that because, our people, they love to play the victim. Okay, but they never consider their own ways. All right, you go here, and they look at Esau, how he prospers in his kingdom, on the wickedness, and Jake wants to mimic that. Well, Jake gets terrible results and tries to play the victim. Malachi 3 and 14. And this is the mindset of Jake. All right, under Esau's rulership, man. You have said it is vain to serve the Most High, because in Esau's rulership, you don't get instant perks. You don't get glorified. You don't become popular by serving the Most High. You become an outcast. But we know the payoff is in the kingdom. The reward is in the kingdom. Okay? So our people, they look at serving the Lord as a downgrade. Cain looked at serving the Lord as a downgrade. He wanted to do what he wanted to do and be prosperous. Esau wanted to do what he wanted to do. He wanted to sell his birthright, but still wanted the benefits of the birthright. Okay, he sold the birthright for pleasure, a meal. He sold his birthright for the flesh. He wanted to indulge in the flesh, but still wanted the perks of the birthright. And that's the culture that Jake has taken hold of today. Okay? Malachi 3 and 14, it says, you have said it is vain to serve the Most High. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully, before, the Lord of hosts? Let's read this in the NLT. Malachi 3 and 14, you have said, what's the use of serving God? What have we gained by obeying his commands, or by trying to show the Lord of heaven's armies that we are sorry for our sins? Okay? And Jake don't take this approach. Okay? Jake love to play victim of what neighborhood they come from, what family they come from. Which we know, some people, our people are born in jacked up situations. But what's the root cause of it? What's the root cause of us being in the situation? This is what the gospel is addressing, man. Okay? And like I said, this is not here to bash Jake, but this is to bash the way of thinking of Jake. Loves to try to play the victim, but Jake never looks at their actions, man. They never examine the actions. There's no accountability. Esau moved with no accountability. Cain moved with no accountability, but played victim when he got the results of bad decision making, man. Okay? And it says, verse 15, and it says, it said, Malachi 3 and 15 said, now we call the proud happy. Yeah, they that work wickedness are set up. Yeah, they that tempt the Most High are even delivered. Okay, let's read this in NLT. Malachi 3 and 15. For now on we will call the arrogant blessed. For those who do evil get rich, and those who dare the Most High to punish them suffer no harm. And they look at how Esau Edom is able to maneuver and prosper without the obedience. Because remember, and that's when we're to Genesis 27, Esau was promised the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. He was promised a temporary kingdom. So the Lord, he's a just power. He made good on that promise, and Esau has his temporary kingdom. But he's the man of sin. So they look at this man, and he's been able to prosper in disobedience, and they try to mimic that. Okay? And our people yield terrible results. And then they love to try to play the victim. Okay? You go here, and the Lord, he speaks on these things, man. What's that in is it yep, it's the book of Hosea chapter 4 verse 1. It says, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, no mercy, no knowledge of the Most High in the land. Okay, look at the culture of our people, man. You know, having an true understanding of the Bible, Jake has no interest in that, man. Okay, showing mercy towards each other. Jake has no. You don't show mercy to each other, but you want everyone to have some type of sympathy for you, man. Okay, but you don't show mercy towards each other, man. Jake make a sport out of tearing each other down. Jake is sincerely happy to see his brother fail, to see, you know, to see bad news come to his own people, man. Okay, the nigga woman gets a joy, because here it is, you know, a lot of women get a kick out of being able to destroy the lives of their children's fathers, man, to make their life harder. No mercy towards each other, man. Okay, but they want to be shown all the mercy. Okay, and it says, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood, man. Okay, so our people live in the culture, as Elder Zahab always going through, where they cause their own effect. Okay, of course Esau brings the drugs over, okay, and drops off guns, make these guns accessible, you know, but who distributes it? Who's actually pulling the trigger? Okay, you play a part in being accountable for your circumstances, man. Okay, the woman, you know, for the longest, you know, you know, in the black community, man, we looked at single mothers as victims. Okay, we're not knowing, nah, man, they a victim of poor decision making. You have certain instances where, you know, they thought the man was legit and he was gonna be around, but a lot of time, man, Eve was just undisciplined, man. Okay, and Eve wasn't thinking about her father, because one thing about it with the woman, women, you know, amongst black culture, you know, as feminism took root and women were sexually liberated, and you know, because you go into the Egyptology, man, that spirit of Egypt, you know, which all these enchantments that this devil put on Jake with the music and all these things, over sexualizing Jake and making Jake violent, to where, you know, our people, you know, began to worship. They began to worship violence. Like the more violent you were, you know, Eve is attracted to those type of men. You know, and then going into, you know, being over sexualized, you know, hey, our people, you know, hey, we worship sex as a people, man. Okay, so when it came to, you know, Eve dealing with men, you know, women didn't look at a man being reliable, being disciplined, being responsible. You know, those traits, okay, wasn't looked at. Okay, those traits are looked over. All right, and Eve, you know, they would just have these children by the most irresponsible men. Okay, like the woman a lot of women set themselves up for failure, man. You have certain incidents where, you know, a woman would get a bad deal every now and then. A woman, you know, will get a bad deal, but for the most part, man, Eve set herself up for failure, man. And then what? She's able to play the victim. She was able to play the victim. Okay? Then you look at the results. You know, the woman, Now she's in need. Now, the children are terrible. Now she's stressed out. And guess what? Now Esau put her as what? This strong black woman. So just as Esau was able to play the victim and the hero, he has pushed that privilege to Eve, where she's able to play the victim and the hero. But it all goes back to poor decision making. It all goes back to a rebellion. I don't need a man. Like just like Esau despised the birthright, he looked at it as worthless. The women of the tribes, especially the Southern Kingdom, they started looking at a father as worthless. They like, a father is, like, I don't need a father. I don't need a man. I'm good. I'm independent. So they looked at their father role as worthless, man. Okay? But then play the victim when the results of their decision making, starts to work against them. Okay? No one was thinking like that. When a woman is out here wild and living her best life, sexually liberated and just, dealing with who she want to deal with and just having random children, random baby fathers. Okay? Just like when Esau sold the birthright, when Cain was out here wilding, sacrifice what he wanted to sacrifice and, kill Abel. He wasn't thinking about the back end of punishment behind it. Okay? And like the woman, she's not thinking about that until she's up in age and it's like, damn. Now, just like Esau, he thought he was going to double back and just get the birthright. And you see the woman, like, after she done made all those poor decisions, then she tries to double back and get a father figure. It's like, damn. You should have did that on the front end. But, it is what it is. Like, we all, come from dysfunction. All right. But just showing the mentality that has been pushed on our people, that victim mentality, but there's no regard for action. That's why you go here to Isaiah. And just like with niggas, man, here it is, niggas live a culture to where they do everything. It's like niggas be begging for death with how they live. Okay? You niggas are always beefing. Niggas are always shooting at each other. It's like you niggas do everything to die, and when they die, it's like now they the victim. Now we gotta put this nigga on a t-shirt. Now, you gotta pour out liquor for this, you know what I'm saying? But this nigga did everything to die. Then when he dies, then he didn't deserve to die. They took a good one, we lost a real one. But then he does everything in his power to die. Like I said, he's into with everybody. He lives a life by where, niggas hate one another based off of color, based off of where this Jake was born at. Okay? Adultery, you popping other men's women, like you doing everything to die. Okay? You die. Everything that nigga that die is based in death. Okay? Everything about nigga culture. That's why it's called black culture, man. It's a death culture. It's rooted in death, but then when you die, it's like now you the victim. Okay? How? It's Isaiah 59:1 says, behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your power, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. Okay, so it was our disobedience. Okay, disobedience yielded the terrible results that we got as a people. Okay, sin. Jake is causing his own effect based off a culture of sin. Sin has control over nigga culture, man. Okay? Like they glorify sin. Okay? But then, you want to march and say Black Lives Matters and this and that. Okay? But you live a culture they're self-destructive. Your whole culture is self-destructive. But you will say Black Lives Matter. You will complain about your circumstances, but you never examine your actions, man. Which we all had to do and continue to do, man. Okay, let's jump down to verse 8. It says, the way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall know no peace. And you look at because nigga culture has just been passed down. You know, this is third, fourth, fifth generation of nigga culture. Okay? And everyone that takes on that doctrine of living like a nigga, that nigga mentality, there's no peace. Nothing but chaos, man. There's no true judgment. Everything is just chaotic and violent. You know? Isaiah 59:8 in the NLT said they don't know where to find peace or what it means to be just and good. So our people can't find peace because they won't take accountability for their actions. Okay? They're looking for, these peaceful results and stop the violence, but they won't live according to a righteous standard. You see? It says they have mapped out crooked roads, and no one who follows them know a moments of peace. Okay? So here it is. You have Jake. Their fathers, uncles, and brothers live in the streets, and they see the results, and then they come up behind them and live in the streets. So it's like you're going to get the same results. Okay? You see, a woman, she see her mother, struggling, unstable as a single mother. Then she goes behind it and follow that same path, and she goes through that life of instability and all over the place. And, it's like you going to get the same results. But then everybody's a victim. You see? Nah, man. The Lord deals with self-accountability, man. And we all, have to take self-accountability, man. And I know, like, a lot of circumstances I found myself in was poor decision making. Poor decision making, man. And when you play victim, you destroy your opportunity. Whenever we play victim, we destroy our opportunity of growth and making the adjustments, man. Because when you're a victim, you're saying, well, I don't need to change. Something or someone needs to change, but I don't need to change. Nah, man. The problems was with us, man. Okay? This is Jeremiah 5. I'm going to read this in the NLT. This is Jeremiah 5:23 in the NLT. Said, but my people have stubborn and rebellious hearts. They have turned away and abandoned me. Okay? You see, just as Cain was in rebellion, doing what he wanted to do, we was in rebellion. Okay? We can't play the victim when we in the wrong. Okay? He said, they do not say from their heart, let us live in awe of the Lord our power, for he gives us rain each spring and fall, assuring us of a harvest when the time is right, which the Lord was a caretaker, like a husband. Okay? Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah was our caretaker, man. When we was in order. When we got out of order, that's when, the Lord abandoned us, man. Okay? And he goes more into it, verse 5. Your wickedness have deprived you of these wonderful blessings. Your sin have robbed you of all good things. Okay? So that's why, look, we, and we understand, hey, Jake being some hell of a situation, the system is rigged against, we understand all that. Okay? But why not serve the power that's above this system, man? Okay? We understand, hey, Jake be born in some drug infested, war zones. We understand these things, man. Okay, but we're addressing the root cause of these things. Okay, those are the results. Okay, the dysfunction and the violence, and those are the results of sin. So this is why we address the sin. The sin is the problem. The wickedness is the problem, man. You ain't gonna get different results. You're not gonna find peace. You're not gonna stop the violence. Okay? You see? Nah, man, it don't work like that. So, yeah, man, Esau, he has mastered, victim plan, and he has pushed that spirit on our people to play the victim and disregard, the poor decision making and wickedness that led to the results. So yeah, man, I just wanted to touch on that, man. Lord will, it was edifying. Till next time I say shalom.